This is a nice fresh morning. It rained last night. It wasn't torrential because there's not like major floods, but my plants all have dewy leaves, and the chia plants were all standing up. Look at all these ants getting to work this morning. I'm going out with, like, it just rained on me, right? I guess it's the same kind of thing. Yesterday when it started to rain, I asked that the rainwater wash away any toxicity or negative thoughts or feelings or anything that wasn't meant to be in my physical arena or home. And that's what it's done out here. Same thing that it does out here. It washes off the dust, right? It washes off any debris and revitalizes and refreshes. You can do that in your shower, or you can do that by just visualizing the rain outside or going into the ocean, right? Into a lake, a river. But the rain is better because it literally charges the ground. So this is a really powerful time for me to be walking on the ground, getting grounded, right? I was going to tell you something really interesting that happened last night in my dreams. So I have a girlfriend who has the same heritage as my twin, Jewish and Cherokee. Now, I always was confused by that. Like, how can you be Jewish and Cherokee? But she's born with Cherokee blood, not complete Cherokee blood, but born with Cherokee blood. And she converted to Judaism. So maybe a parent converted, something like that. But anyway, here's a strange mirror. I've been watching for years. I believed it was my twin. And this is maybe why I need to share this. Because what I think I'm watching, and I talked about this before, I may be watching someone's friend, someone's family, a client. I know I've definitely dreamed with clients. I dreamed with my client the other day. But this morning I watched my girlfriend Serenity's family. And it was interesting because Serenity's got 6 kids. And she lives on a farm. Years ago, what I watched in my dreams was who I thought, because I'm thinking, who am I? Like, I'm going with somebody, I'm connected with somebody, right? And it was somebody who went to the reservation. And there were a lot of kids. And they were always taking care of these kids. They weren't their kids, but they were taking care of these kids, helping someone. And they were going to take all these kids somewhere. And they got in the car and there was no gas. And in my mind, I'm thinking it's my twin. So I'm a man, I'm thinking. And I say to this other guy, now it can be just a masculine energy, right? It doesn't have to be a man. But my brain in my dream is trying to fit in what I know or what I believe. And I know my twin grew up on the Navajo reservation in Page, Arizona when he was young. So to my mind, it made sense that that's where I was. I don't know anybody else who would be on a reservation with all these kids, right? But Serenity's is very similar. And so when I go to this place, they don't have a lot of money because they've got all these kids that they're taken care of. And this person that comes there has money. And in my dream, what I watched was a relative that went back to their birthplace, and I guess they were taken away and raised in a wealthy home, while these other ones had to stay on the reservation. And they were jealous. They were angry. They felt it wasn't fair that this one was raised with everything. And it was interesting because this one that I was in my dream was so generous with everything, giving, constantly giving, because they felt bad that they had been privileged. And this other person whose children these kids belong to felt like they were, it's not even the word worthy. It's worthy would be a nice way of putting it. They felt entitled. They felt like they should be giving us everything, paying for everything. And here's this person working and giving and feeling like guilty because they've been given a life of luxury And these ones had, and saw now how these others had grown up and felt so guilty and bad. Now, it can be that I was dreaming with anyone that went to a foreign land, right? I never thought of this at the time. Went to a foreign land to help, to aid, right? And I've done that. I've done that with animals. I've done that where I've given donations, and I just feel like, you know, I've had so much and these ones have had nothing, and that's why I've adopted 6 cats and a dog, right? I rescue them because I have the ability to give to them, and they've had nothing. So I'm watching this, right? And the guy goes to get into the car and says there's no gas in the car. And the person says, well, fill it up. And whoever I am, says, why do I always have to fill up the gas tank? And the person says, because you have the money. Now, this is narcissistic behavior. Think about it. What if this is a relationship, and because the car is how you travel forward in life? Look how pretty my path is. And however you drive forward in your life, that's your vehicle. I get into the car, my vehicle, and I'm with someone else, but I've got all this responsibility, right? Children could represent responsibilities. And this other one, because they've been through a lot, I feel bad for them. So I'm giving. And they get to the place where, or maybe all along, like I said, they have felt entitled to just take. There are some people that could come into the world entitled. I have a family member who feels entitled. We grew up in the same house. I never felt entitled, but this one does, always has. And because of that, stole from me, took from me, felt completely justified in doing so. Oh, she can get it. She's able to manifest anything. She's a hard worker. She'll get it. She doesn't have to have this. But stole what was mine, right? So in my dream last night, I believe I'm with my twin again, right? Remember I said the other night, sometimes I see his face and that way I know it's him, or I have a certain feeling and I know it's him, but maybe it's the energy of someone, right? So in my dream, I don't see faces. I'm assuming whoever I'm with, there's this man who has shared custody of this child. And so that would be like a parent would have shared custody, right? Even if you are, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're an uncle that has, you know, you're helping your mom with your nephew because the other, parent isn't there, or maybe you've adopted someone, or maybe you're just a big brother or whatever, you're right? It kind of coincided with the show I was watching before I went to bed, and the situation before I went to bed. See how your dreams can come into what you watch beforehand can come into your dreams, but maybe it's trying to show you something, or maybe it's just a story. So you have to be careful, right? Yes, I do have prophetic dreams. Yes, I absolutely saw what was going on, but what was I watching? Was I, So in the movie, the guy had a fling with this girl. They weren't in a relationship. It was just a hookup, but she got pregnant with twins. And she moves on to have another relationship. He wants a relationship with his children. The babies aren't even there yet. But he is basically fighting the other parent who's got all this money. And because she's marrying a very wealthy guy. And this guy, he's a hard worker and he does well for himself. But this other person is extremely wealthy. And so they can keep them in court for years, tie it up, and he either lets his kids think, I didn't care about you. I traded you away, or I let you go. I didn't fight for you. But a child doesn't understand. We would have been in court for years fighting. I would have lost everything I had. I would have had to work. And I wouldn't have been with you anyway, because until we get that agreement in place, like I win the court battle, that you're with the other parent and the step parent, right? Children don't understand that. And what's interesting is that's literally what happened in my house, in my life. My mom and dad got divorced. I was 6 months old when they split up. Of course, I have no idea what's going on, right? My father actually really loved me. I didn't know that. I never saw him. I grew up wanting a parent so bad, a father. Everyone else had one. I didn't. And so when I got the father that came, I gave everything of myself and did everything to become the perfect little Jehovah's Witness girl that this man would ever want, because I wanted his approval. I always wanted his approval. He was abusive to me. He was narcissistic. He wasn't always abusive, but he was. He was a narcissist. He was wonderful when things went the way he wanted, and when they didn't, he was mean. And I pushed away my natural father because I was told he didn't want me. He was gone before you were ever born, is what I was told. Didn't find out until I was 18 that that wasn't the truth. My grandmother told me the truth, that he's actually a really nice man, and that he was the one who took care of me for the first 6 months of my life. He loved me, but he had a family before with 4 children, and he was paying alimony and child support to these kids. And so he was given a deal. You can either sign over your rights and walk away, or I will break you in court. You'll have nothing. And so he did the only thing he felt he could do at the time. But the agreement was he wasn't allowed to see me. And so he made arrangements with my grandmother that my grandmother would bring me to my biological grandfather every week to show him that I was happy and I was okay. And so that they could have some kind of contact. And then he contacted me when I was 18. But I never let him in because I was raised by this other person and I felt so loyal. That's my problem. I'm loyal to a fault. And that was the fault. My brother allowed himself to get to know him because they were so much alike. He was an artist and a fisherman and really easygoing, and my brother had the same kind of personality. Now, he wasn't a faithful person, but which is probably, you think of how can you be raised in the same home and grow up 2 completely different people? Like one's an entitled narcissist and the other is a server. Serves and gives and gives and gives and serves. Our parents are basically the vehicle to get our bodies into this world. And we have our own soul's path. So just because you're in the same family as someone doesn't mean they're going to be anything like you. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my dream. So in my dream last night, I'm watching, and because my twin had a business that had to do with cars, and because I had watched him with this young boy that he'd been taking care of since he was a baby in my dreams, I didn't see gender in my dream. All I saw was that we were looking for a present. To me, I'm thinking, okay, it's September, so if we're looking for a present, it's got to be Christmas coming up, right? That's just how my mind was interpreting things. Bea, this way, in the dream. So we go to this place and we look at it, and there's someone else looking at it. And the person in my dream is saying, oh, this is so cool, talking about all the really cool things about it. And because they sold it so good, someone else took it. And I said, you just sold that to someone else. And they said, that's okay, I know another place. And so we went to this other big store, and we're going around inside, and he goes up and he sees this box with all of these different colors, and I'm thinking it must be, in my mind, what I thought it was an amplifier or a booster for a car, right, for a stereo, because that's, in my mind, what a box would be that you would buy for a kid in a car. I'm thinking the kid's got a car, so he's going to buy him this really cool stereo system, because that's what my stepdad did for my brother. So we buy it, it's less expensive. It's really cool. And it's not less expensive. It's more compact. It's smaller. And I'm thinking, wow, it's even more compact. And there was another one to the side that was purple and taller, but I figured the small compact one would work better. There's so many messages I'm getting in this. If you're not getting messages in this, maybe I'm doing this just for me, because I'm getting lots. The tall purple one, that would be me. The small compact one would be the one he took. It was easier. It fit in better. I would stand out, right? The other one wouldn't. So I get up and I look at my Facebook, and my girlfriend Serenity, it's her daughter Eliana's birthday. And I looked at what she posted and I thought, oh my God, I was with her. So I called her and I said, I think I was dreaming with you last night. I saw you picking up presents. And then she tells me how she ordered something. She paid for it. And the person took the money, but didn't send the gift, and so it wasn't there. So here it's her birthday, and she doesn't have a gift. Look how beautiful this is. See what I mean? Freshness. And so she took her to a big store, and she said, you can go pick out anything you want. And so that's why I saw the colored boxes, and she got something smaller. It wasn't the one that she had ordered, but she ended up being very, very happy with what she had. So my message is to myself, after all these years of me watching these dreams and knowing I'm watching someone else's life, I've realized that a lot of the times I'm watching my clients or I'm watching whoever it is that I'm close to. So for you who have prophetic dreams, you may have assumed that you saw something. Your brain may have wanted to fit something into a certain category, and it may not have been exactly what you thought. So never assume, right? You gotta, and so you don't know if a dream is also symbolic unless you, or prophetic unless it's revealed to you later, right? So that was revealed to me, and I knew it was a prophetic dream. Anyway, messages for the day. I didn't pick up any of my sacred shaman stone because I have so many of them. Happy, happy rain. All right, time for work.